All right. So I want to start this video off with, can we talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves? It feels as if I'm being lied to, because anytime someone comes out with their weekly rankings or their power rankings or who's the most likely to win the championship and on and on and on and on, and nobody ever fixes their lips to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. And it's starting to irk me. It's starting to hit me like deep in here because of, even though we're the fourth seed, right? It goes OKC, it goes Spurs, it goes Nuggets, then it goes us. I'd like to emphasize that it feels as if people are forgetting what the Timberwolves do. And I don't know if it's because you guys are not watching the games or you guys are still having the biases for a couple of our players not being playoff over performers or just championship caliber players, or not being able to fix your lips to say Rudy Gobert might win a ring. But I'm telling you guys now, if you are a betting man, the Timberwolves might be the team that comes out with flying colors, because of it seems as if they are clicking at all the right times. And I'd like to highlight, we are one of the few teams that did not need to retool. And some way, somehow, we end up at the Western Conference Finals again and again. We are back to back. We are going again this year. And I'd like to say a couple things. Number one, I feel like the way that the West is set up right now, there's a lot of rock, paper, scissors actions going on because of the OKC Thunder. When we first started this season, they looked really unbeatable, but there's some flaws in their systems that a team like the San Antonio Spurs has been able to really exacerbate to the point of them literally being OKC 3 out of the last 4 times. That's interesting. Keep that in the back of your head. But the problem with the Spurs is they have so many unintentional problems in the way that they're built that would lead them to lose against a team like the Nuggets. And here's where it gets crazy. Jokic he's been out for the past, I think, like 5 games, nothing too crazy. And even though the Nuggets have been able to like keep afloat and Murray is finally having that all-star season that he's been promising us, but it feels as if the Minnesota Timberwolves are one of the few teams that are set up to make a run for it because of they are able to actually, I'm willing to say that they know that they can beat the Nuggets, and they know for a fact that they could beat the Spurs, and their only problem is the OKC Thunder. But like I was saying earlier, there's so many flaws that the Spurs has been able to really exacerbate. For example, it feels as if as long as you could force the OKC Thunder to play outside of themselves in the context of forcing anybody but Shea to really get going, you have some space for them to lose. But let's keep it with the Minnesota Timberwolves just for now. The Minnesota Timberwolves has done this thing where they've kept the teams and everybody has gotten a lot better. Like if you're looking at defensively, it feels as if the only weak point defensively on that roster is Mike Conley. And that could be shored up pretty quickly if we're able to pick up a couple guys, or honestly just move them to the bench and then trying to figure out where we're going to get the facilitation from other spots. Because as you're watching, they are slowing down on the minutes of Conley to be able to save him for the playoff time. And as the season is going on, Ant has shown that he is not only a superstar, but he's shown that he's one of the top 5 to top 3 best players in the league so far, because he's been able to turn down a lot of the young player mistakes that he tends to make, especially when it comes to trying to use your speed in all 3 levels of the game. Because before, it would be like, all right, I know that I can at least speed boost when the going gets tough. That's all I know. And it got to the point where he would be very much over reliant on trying to get past the defender and just jumping over whoever on the backside trying to help. You've watched as he's like figured out how to kick the ball cross court. He never did that over the past 3 years. That was never in his bag. And not even to mention, he's been able to unlock a very important part of the game, the post up. He's been posting up a lot more frequently. And at least I don't want to really harp too much on his ability to score from post-ups. That's not really what I want to do. I want to highlight how he's able to slow down, because that's the more important part when you get a guy that's able to be on the low post. Because if you get the ball at the low post and being able to see and being able to value the facilitation over the scoring, that's where you get the gold from. Because of when the season does, or when the playoffs does come, the main way that they try and guard that is like, all right, shrink the courts, and we will just force him to pass it out of it. But if he's a willing passer before he is a scorer, well, it's kind of hard to get back and scramble when you have so many offensive threats. And let's talk about some offensive threats real quick. Jaden McDaniels is growing. Jaden McDaniels has grown so much as an offensive threat, where I think he's been put into the Jaylen Brown role of the 2023-2024 Boston Celtics Jaylen Brown archetype of guys, right? Where you're able to play an assorted amount of minutes on the defensive end, but still being able to contribute where you're needed on the offensive side, because there's going to be so much pressure on everybody else but you. And not even to mention the shooting prowess that he has grown has been something that people need to keep in mind, because they used to do this thing where they'll just leave him on an island by himself and it's be like, all right, pass, and everybody just watch out for the first step, because he will try to get ahead of steam and dunk it on you. Let's make sure he doesn't get it going where it's going to create a wall. But he's like, I can shoot. I like that. And the reason why I want to bring up his shooting, because it's not so much that he is going to be a knockdown shooter, even though he is shooting over 40%. I'm not going to put too much stock in that, because he's not taking that many shots from the three-point line. But what I want to talk about is the fact that he is not only comfortable and willing to take that shot, but he's not going to force that shot, because he knows what he's good at. And that's one thing I love when you're seeing the growth of a new player, because I've always hated when a player would be like, well, I mean, on paper, I could shoot, but then in actuality, it starts getting very, if you shoot out celebrates, then you try to take it out the grip and try and dunk it out somebody. Pablo Banchero is my main example of that, but that's a whole other. Carl Anthony Towns is also my major example of that. Who's Miles Turner, low key, but that's a whole other conversation. Giannis is the number one. Giannis is number one. That everybody else is coming second. But beyond that, the growth that I've seen with McDaniels, especially, the reason why I'm excited for McDaniels is because of we're going to need him when the OKC start. When we do finally meet the OKC Thunder in the Western Conference Finals again, because if the Nuggets can't take them out, somebody will have to take them out. And I would not be too shocked. I wouldn't be too anti having that be the matchup. But I will say this. Because when that matchup does arise, I'm going to put McDaniels on J-Dub. And then I'm just going to have Ant go 1v1 I'll just have Ant go 1v1 with SGA, because I could see it brewing, and I could see that he wants to take up on that challenge, which I will totally commend. But my one thing, we cannot let J-Dub do us like that, like we did last year. Not again. We can't go for it. No. Because I will always hate role player superstars that are shining, because it's like, even though you got 30, it was from back doors. Actually, no. Let me not say that. No. I'll say it like this. I love when hustle superstars are on my team, but when they're on another squad, it pisses me off. I hate it. I hate it so much. You're telling me you are averaging 29.7 points on our head off of putbacks, off of rebounds, off of pushing the pace, and off of backdoor cuts and open threes. That's how you're getting 29 points a game? Somebody please guard him. Somebody please do something. Oh, nonsense. Just nonsense. And let's say, I'm going to put these two together. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert deserve more respect from the NBA world. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert deserve so much more respect, because I feel like that is the only thing that is drawing down the aura of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I feel like if we had another player, honestly, I think it comes back. You need to take a couple steps back because of it's the same problem that we had with Cat. It's the same problem that we had with who's that other wing guy, like an Aaron, not Aaron, Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle deserve and need more respect because I feel like that is what is killing the Minnesota Timberwolves aura and the groundswell that should be there but is not, because I feel like people cannot look past those two guys on our roster. They see them like, nah, y'all are not championship contenders as long as they are living and breathing on that roster. It doesn't work. And honestly, I feel like that was the same feeling as when we had Cat on our squad too, because teams were looking at him and be like, man, I could hoop him. And it's weird. It's weird because of Julius Randle has upped his defense so crazy. And let's not even act like last year in the playoffs. He was not completely showing his backside, putting people through the ringer through the whole series. There was watching what Julius Randle did to LeBron, and then watching what Julius Randle did to LeBron and Ant did to Luka. They are able to play off of each other. They figured it out. They actually figured it out. That doesn't happen. That's not a consistent factor. And because I remember I was also worried. I thought I was like, two ball dominant guys, two tween cross hezzy pull guys. I don't know if that really works on a roster like this. Will Julius Randle be able to shoot? Yes. Will Julius Randle be able to defend? Yeah. Will Julius Randle be able to take the hard matchups? Because of when we watched the Spurs game, my one problem with Wemby's game, even though he's already all time when it comes to this defensive stuff, if you're playing against a guy that's shorter and got some shoulders on him, shoulder, hip check. I don't know what to tell you. There's not much you can really go from there. And having him will be such a great addition when playoffs time comes because of Julius Randle. No matter what y'all want to say, the stats has been shown. He's not the worst during the playoffs. He be hooping. He's one of them guys. So I'm very excited for the playoffs. And then Rudy Gobert, I can't keep emphasizing this enough. Y'all can't keep looking at these stats and being like, hogwash. I know what my eyes see. Does your eyes see the second straight? Actually, let me take a step back. It always hurts me trying to explain why Rudy Gobert is good because it feels as if not only do you need to know what's happening tertiary in the game, but you also have to figure out there's people that are actively avoiding going for a layup because of he exists there. But when Wemby does it, everyone's like, oh, he's the greatest defender ever. But they're doing the same thing. It's happening. And not even to go to second spectrum stats, but it shows when teams are not only taking less shots because it doesn't only show when teams are slowly not taking as many shots inside the paint, but it also gets to the point where it's like there's a whole area around him that the percentage just drops due to his existence. And not even to mention, he's finally catching the ball. And it's my main thing is Rudy Gobert will be so useful when the Nuggets series goes down that everybody will need their roles, right? Everyone will have the roles and everyone will meet up to their roles. And this is the year that they finally put it all together to really make that push.